Hi guys, TJ here. Hope you guys, one second, let me turn this down. I'm not sure. What is this? Who knows what the song this is? I'm joking, I don't know what song it is. So guys, hi, my name's TJ. Thank you very much for tuning in, subscribing, doing whatever you did to find this video. I'm a property investor. I'm a property entrepreneur. I'm in property. I don't know how else to explain it. I thought I would start by introducing myself a bit, talking about what I do, why I do it. I love talking about myself, and it's so weird because as I talk about myself, I tend to give away all my secrets, and to me this is kind of therapeutic. I get the chance to talk and I get the chance to share what I'm passionate about, and then at the same time people get to learn more about what I do and hopefully take some of that information and help themselves. So I'm in property in the sense of I run a specific type of business called service accommodation. Some people also call it rent to rent, which falls under service accommodation. I'm fortunate enough to have found out about this model. I think it was 2014 or 2013. I found out about service accommodation. Over time, you'll find out my journey, how I fell into service accommodation, and how I went completely crazy when I found out that you can take someone's property with their permission, re-rent that property out to a group of different people, and charge a high nightly rate, take the margin, take out my rent, give the landlord back his rent, and then keep the difference. That blew my mind. I was like, hold on, I've just come back from a failed business, but yet what you're saying is all I need to do is find landlords who would give me 5 minutes to understand this simple model. They would rent me their property or give me their property in some cases, and I could make money from it, and I could legally keep that difference. I went bonkers. So some of you that know my story already, when I get these crazy little ideas, I go crazy. I'm like, wait, what you're saying is there's free money on the table. I'm going there. And then that kind of started off a second business of mine called sourcing. Now, we source hundreds of deals, and we've sourced hundreds so far, and we've helped hundreds of people start their service accommodation journey by finding them the right type of unit to use to start this business. But again, that's for another day. I really just wanted to introduce you to what I do, which is service accommodation and sourcing. But I'll be using this platform kind of to share my journey, to share my frustrations with the industry, to share my ups, to share my downs, because with every single business, there are ups. But as you're growing the business, you'll find out that there are some downtimes as well. I've just realized, because I'm looking in the camera, that I'm chewing, and it's so disgusting. I look so rough. I'm going to swallow this chewing gum. I shouldn't do it. And yeah, I'm going to swallow it. 1 second. Gone. I'm back, guys. I was looking in the camera and my face looked really puffy and stuff. But guys, yeah, so service accommodation is absolutely mental. Think about it this way. Service accommodation essentially is you're providing a hotel-like service but using a normal standard accommodation. So it means we can earn hotel-style money without having millions and millions to... Check this out. Now, for a hotel to build a hotel in any location, the first thing they need to do is spend hundreds and hundreds of thousands of pounds on what? On research and development, making sure that the area is good, making sure that they can pull in a crowd, making sure it's near the O2 Centre, making sure it's near where people desire to travel to. They spend hundreds of thousands, maybe millions on doing that. Then guess what? Then they now have to hire an architect. In fact, no, they need to buy the land, which might cost them a few £100,000. Depending on the location, if you're in central London, it might be a few million. From a few million, you now have to build the structure on top of that. So let's go back round, guys. So number one, research to make sure it's a viable area, it's going to work. Number two, buy the plot of land. Number three, build. So we're looking at, let's say, nearly 3 million, let's even say 2 million before they've started generating a penny. And that's a hotel. But guess what we do with the rent to rent model? people are looking at me really weird because I've parked up to do this video because I'm so excited. What you do with the rent-to-rent service accommodation model is, and I'm sweating so much, this heat is a lot. What you do with the rent-to-rent service accommodation model is, you rent a property from a landlord, an agent or a developer. You haven't had to spend £1 million on doing your research, because there are tools in place to do the research to find out whether it's a viable area. But guess what? There's less liability. So if for any reason you decide that, hey, I've graduated from this strategy, I'm now going into development, I'm now going into this, or I give up, in fact, service accommodation, rent to rent is not for me, guess what? You give the property back to the owner. But you haven't spent £1 million on acquiring that property. That's why I love service accommodation or rent to rent. You would be absolutely bonkers not to have a few rent to rent service accommodation in your portfolio. Yes, of course, there are ups and downs, and I mentioned that. And again, on another video, I will talk to you about the ups and the downs, the potential to lose a lot of money, the potential to make a lot of money. But at the same time, technically it's free money. If you can negotiate properly, if you can find a landlord and say, hey, Mr. Landlord, I want to rent your property, here's the benefits, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, bam. And he gives you that property, and you put it on the right channels, and you do the right things, and you market it correctly, it's technically free money. So when people say, I can't start a property business because I don't have the money, I'm like, my goodness, haven't you heard of service accommodation or rent to rent? But guys, look, I really just wanted to introduce myself. I've ended up going on and going on and going on, but I will go on longer and longer. Subscribe, do whatever you need to do. I need to move from where I'm parked because I'm parked outside of school and it looks a bit weird. So I'm going to stop this video and I'm going to drive on. But I look forward to catching up with you guys and giving more content and teaching you how you can actually start a profitable property business without actually owning any of the properties. You don't have to buy it, you don't have to own it, you just have to learn how to talk to landlords, agents or developers. Landlords, agents, developers. I've worked with all three of them on different scales. Now, I want to break down something really quickly. Imagine you could make a few £100, let's even say £200 from a property you don't own. The aim of the game is scaling up. So you get one for £200. Then you get another one, that's £200, that's 400. Another one, 600. Another one, 800. Another one, £1,000 a month. Believe you me, you don't need to have £1 million to quit your job. If you have yourself 2 or 3 units that are working over the £500 a month, that's £1,500 a month. I want you guys to do the calculation and see what you really need in order to quit your job and live life on your own terms. But believe me, as I say, it's not as simple, but it's doable because I've done it and hundreds of my clients are doing it, and it's an incredible business. But hey, I'll catch you guys on the other side. Bye. Peace.